And I told that attendance of everyone is very important, because as I just conclude my lecture, yeah, bind up my lecture, I send this attendance to principal sir. Therefore, your presence is mandatory. आपका जो प्रेजेंस है वो मैंडेटरी है, उसमें किसी तरह का कोई चॉइस नहीं है. एंड यू ऑल हैव टू ज्वाइन योर क्लास ऑन टाइम. इसीलिए आप देख रहे होंगे कि टाइम टेबल के अनुसार ही सारी क्लासेस चल रही है. So today what will I do? Today I have to conduct another test. आज हमें एक दूसरा टेस्ट कंडक्ट कराना है, और ये जो दूसरा टेस्ट है वो आपका किससे है? ग्रीक ट्रेजिडी से रिलेटेड. नॉट ग्रीक ट्रेजिडी, शेक्सपियरियन ट्रेजिडी. सबसे पहला चीज कि व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट विलियम शेक्सपियर, माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज कि शेक्सपियर बिलोंग्स टू विच एज? शेक्सपियर किस एज से बिलोंग करते हैं? या शेक्सपियर बिलोंग्स टू एलिजाबेथन एज. Can you tell me what was the exact date of Elizabethan age? Yeah, what is the exact date of Elizabeth?
58 to 1930.
1558 to 1603. Yeah. Today you are very active. That's a good thing. That's a good sign that you all have watched the video and you all are you have prepared. So what did I tell you? I just told you कि Shakespeare, we have taken Shakespearean tragedy, and I am just asking you कि Shakespeare as a dramatist belongs to which age? Elizabethan age. Shakespeare, and what is the date of Elizabethan age? 1558 to 1603. And my second question is कि Elizabethan age is at the name of which Queen Elizabeth? Queen Elizabeth first, second, third, or fourth?
First.
या क्वीन एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट. एलिजाबेथन जो नाम रखा गया है वो क्वीन एलिजाबेथ के नाम पे रखा गया है. जो क्वीन है कौन सी है? क्वीन एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट है. क्वीन एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट. नाउ द थर्ड पॉइंट आई वांट टू नो, when we talk about Elizabethan age, when we talk about William Shakespeare, let me know when Shakespeare was born. What was the date of his birth?
1564.
1564. Shakespeare was born on 23rd April 1564. Now I want to know when did he die? उनकी मौत कब होती है? When did he die? Yeah, Shakespeare died in 1616. So what do you find that Shakespeare belongs to Elizabethan age, and the date of Elizabethan age was 1558 to 1603. And second point, I asked Elizabethan age and the name of Queen Elizabeth first, and then I just asked a question कि Shakespeare was born in 1564 on 23rd April and died in 1616, the same date, 23rd April. Now I just want to know कि how many plays have been written by William Shakespeare? How many plays have been written?
Please. 37.
Shakespeare has written 37 plays. Let me know one more point. If Shakespeare has written 37 plays, among 37 plays, how many plays are historical plays?
10.
Yeah, 10 are historical
10.
plays. So Shakespeare has written 37 plays, and out of 37, 10 plays are historical plays. 10 जो play है वो कौन से play है? Historical play है. Here I want to know one more point. Uh, when you divide शेक्सपियर प्ले, जब आप शेक्सपियर के प्ले को डिवाइड करते हैं तो शेक्सपियर के कारियर को और शेक्सपियर के प्ले को लेकर के देयर इज अ क्रिटिक. एक क्रिटिक है जिनका नाम है डॉक्टर डाउडन. व्हाट इज द नेम? या डॉक्टर डाउडन. Dr. Dowden has divided the literary career of Shakespeare into how many parts?
4 parts.
Yeah, Dr. Dowden has divided Shakespeare's literary career into 4 parts. उन्होंने शेक्सपियर के लिटरेरी career को 4 हिस्सों में बांटा है. Now I want to know, when you talk about his literary career, Dowden divided his literary career into 4 parts. When he categorized his plays, then how do you see his plays? How do you find his plays? When he categorized his plays, how do you see his plays? Yeah. जब डॉक्टर डाउडन उनके प्ले को कैटेगराइज करते हैं तो चार हिस्सों में बांटते हैं। वो चार हिस्से कौन कौन से हैं? ट्रेजिडी
So comedy, roman play,
या
or romance.
या ट्रेजिडी, कॉमेडी, रोमन प्ले, रोमांस, और यू कैन से हिस्टोरिकल प्ले आल्सो। ट्रेजिडी, कॉमेडी, रोमन प्ले, or you can say historical play or romance. So whenever you talk about Shakespeare, whenever you talk about his age, these things we have to keep in our mind. ये सारी चीजें हमें ध्यान में रखना है। डॉक्टर डाउडन, DOWDEN, we must keep in our mind about who, we must keep in our mind about his 37 plays, tragedy, comedy, Roman plays. Yeah, just tell me about some great tragedies of William Shakespeare. Just tell me about some great tragedies of
Macbeth,
William Shakespeare.
Macbeth,
The
Yes,
Othello,
Othello,
King Lear,
Lear,
Hamlet.
yeah,
Hamlet.
yeah. Macbeth, Othello, King Lear, and Hamlet. Yeah, it shows your active involvement. That's good. You all have prepared today very well. Yeah, that's good. So you find Macbeth, you find Hamlet, you find King Lear, and you find ओथेलो। नाउ अब मैं नाम लेकर के जानना चाहूंगा। सबसे पहले मैं फौजिया से जानना चाहूंगा कि फौजिया, कैन यू टेल मी द पब्लिकेशन डेट ऑफ मैकबेथ? फौजिया, आर यू गेटिंग माय वॉइस?
Yes, sir.
या व्हाट इज द पब्लिकेशन डेट? मिसबा, मिसबा, शारिक, आप में से कोई भी?
Yes, sir.
आयशा,
मुझे मालूम।
सोलह
1606.
सौ छः
1606, 1606, 1606। एंड दोज हु आर नॉट रिस्पॉन्डिंग, वो लोग ये चीज समझ ले कि कल से उन्हें अलाउ नहीं करूंगा। इधर दे हैव टू सिट एट देयर होम, जस्ट एंजॉय इन देयर लाइफ, इधर दे हैव टू प्रिपेयर। या तो घर पे बैठ जाइए, एंजॉय करिए, या तो प्रिपेयर करके आइए। ना तो आयशा का जो है जवाब आया, ना ही जो है क्या कहते हैं मिसबा का आया है, ना ही फौजिया का आया है।
सर बोलने जा रहे थे बट बता दिया तो नहीं बताया हमने।
ठीक है बिटिया, बोलने जा रहे हैं तो अगला बता दो जो है। मैकबेथ का तुम्हें पता चल गया, 1606 पब्लिशिंग डेट है। हैमलेट का क्या है?
सर हैमलेट का वो 1601।
No.
1601 है,
1602 है।
1602। और हैमलेट के बाद आपका जो बचता है ओथेलो का क्या है?
सर 1604 है और किंग लियर का 1605।
इंग्लियर का 1605। और हमने इसका क्या तरीका बताया था?
सर होप नहीं
HOKM।
बताया।
HOKM। अब नाउ बी साइलेंट, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन। जिन लोगों ने, दोज हु डिड नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड, दे हैव टू गेट दिस पॉइंट दैट दिस क्वेश्चन माइट बी आस्क्ड। ऑलरेडी आई टोल्ड यू दैट शेक्सपियर हैज रिटन 4 ग्रेट ट्रेजेडीज and those tragedies are addressed as Hamlet, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. H से Hamlet, O से Othello, K से King Lear, M से Macbeth. So what the short term I have given you? I have given you a word that was the hook. H for Hamlet 1602, O for Othello 1604, and K for King Lear 1605. Then M for Macbeth 1606. And I told you that in 1603 you don't find any great tragedy of William Shakespeare. Means when you talk about these 4 tragedies, so you have only to miss 1603, and always keep in your mind 1602, 1604, 1605, 1606। ये चीज मैंने आपको बताया था। And when you go with Othello, Hamlet, Macbeth, and King Lear, जस्ट आई वांट टू नो कि विच प्ले इज इन योर सिलेबस, इनमें से कौन सा प्ले आपके यहाँ सिलेबस में है?
ओथेलो
ओथेलो।
ओथेलो
ओथे ओथेलो इज इन सिलेबस एंड हु इज द हीरो ऑफ ओथेलो?
ओथेलो
Othello is the hero. Yeah, Othello is the hero. What is the name of his wife?
Desdemona.
डेस्टिमोना।
डेस्टिमोना
Desdemona.
Desdemona is the name of his wife. Othello. तो जो बीए सेकेंड ईयर का जो कानपुर यूनिवर्सिटी छत्रपति शाहूजी महाराज यूनिवर्सिटी जो है उसमें यू फाइंड दैट इन बीए सेकेंड ईयर व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट द फर्स्ट paper you find that there are the three plays. Among these three plays you find one is whom? One is Shakespeare's Othello. And you find what? You find उसमें जो ट्रेजिडी है वो एक ब्लैक मूर है, दैट इज ओथेलो. ही इज अ ब्रेव करेजियस बोल्ड मैन एंड ही हैज अ फेयर वाइफ डेस्टिमोना. एंड डेस्टिमोना मैरिड विद whom? डेस्टिमोना मैरिड ओथेलो because Othello is a brave courageous bold person. But you will come to know Desdemona's father and other people, they were against this relationship. But anyhow, the hurdle is overcome. And in your view, who is the villain? Who is the villain?
Iago.
यागो
यागो।
Iago.
Iago is the villain. What is the name of his wife?
Emilia.
या
Emilia.
Emilia. उसकी वाइफ का नाम इमिलिया है. Can you tell me what is the name of Desdemona's father?
ब्रावेंशियो
ब्राबेंशियो।
ब्रावेंशियो
Brabantio. Brabantio is the name of Desdemona's father. Can you tell me some other characters?
रॉड्रिगो
Rodrigo.
एक
Cassio.
एक करके. दीबा बोल रही. दीबा तुम बताओ सबसे पहले. दीबा.
Rodrigo is a common man and
Yeah.
Brabantio's father of Desdemona.
Yeah.
Emilia is Iago's wife, and
Yeah.
Cassio, a general, and
Cassio agent. Yeah.
Montano, one another character in the play.
Another character is Montano.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you come to know about what? You come to know about the play, and the play ultimately moves around the central figure. And who is the central figure? The central figure is Othello. Othello is a black moor. जो Othello है वो एक black moor है. And you will come to know that he married Desdemona, that is a fair and lovely girl. And against this marriage you will come to know father of Desdemona was not ready, other members were not ready, and they have jealous with whom? They have jealous with Othello. And now they are making a plan how to take revenge from this man. And behind this conspiracy you find the great mind of Iago. इस पूरी conspiracy के पीछे जो माइंड है वो किसका है? इयागो का है. जस्ट आई वांट टू टेल यू, डू यू फाइंड द रोल ऑफ हैंकरचीफ या इज देयर एनी रोल ऑफ हैंकरचीफ in
यस
this
सर
play?
Yes, sir.
Yes, there is the role of handkerchief. Now I would like to say Shoaib, just explain all the characters again. सारे characters को फिर से
ओथेलो
आप explain.
ओथेलो द हीरो
Othello.
ऑफ द प्ले यागो
Yeah.
द प्रोटोगनिस्ट ऑफ द प्ले मैक
Iago is
सॉरी
not the protagonist.
एंटागोन।
Iago is
एंटागोन।
antagonist.
antagonist of the play. Emilia,
Iago is,
Iago's wife, Desdemona,
yeah.
Othello's wife, Brabantio, Desdemona's father,
Brabantio
Rodrigo,
Desdemona's father.
जी, Rodrigo, Cassio, and इतने याद
And Adiba told one more character, Montano.
Montano.
Yeah. So you find these characters, if you keep these characters in your mind, you will be able to understand the whole nature of the play. You will be able to understand the chemistry of the play, especially the story, the plot, characters. And just I want to know the play is divided into how many acts?
सर 5।
The
Three
play,
acts.
सर 3।
कौन कह रहा है?
सॉरी
कौन कह रहा है 3 acts?
सर मेरा था
सर 5 मुझे लगा सर मेरा गलत हो गया। सर 5 बताया हमने।
The play is divided into 5 acts. Already I told you कि एलिजाबेथन प्ले जो भी था वो सब 5 act में था. अगर आप आर्म्स एंड द मैन की बात करेंगे तो आर्म्स एंड द मैन was in 3 acts. It was divided into 3 acts. When you talk about Shakespeare and his play, you find that not only tragedy, not only comedy, not only Roman or historical play, all the plays of Shakespeare have been divided into 5 acts. तो वो चीजें वहां पे रही. When I talk about act, then what is act? What is act?
Sir, act division of action into the play.
Act is a major division of action into the play. Act is a major division of action into the play. When action is divided into means you can say कि action in the sense because in drama things are going to be performed. ड्रामा में चीजें परफॉर्म होती है तो एक्ट जो होगा वो क्या होगा एक्ट इज अ मेजर डिवीजन ऑफ एक्शन इनटू द प्ले एंड एक्ट इज डिवाइडेड इनटू व्हाट act is divided into what
The scene.
act is divided into scene yeah act is divided into scene can you tell me when you talk about scene then what is scene
The act.
yeah scene is the subdivision of act सीन जो होता है वो एक्ट का सब डिवीजन होता है उसका डिवीजन होता है जैसे एक्ट एक्शन का डिवीजन है वैसे सीन जो है क्या है कि सीन इज द सब डिवीजन ऑफ एक्ट you find that ki when you see a movie or when you see any serial you come to know what you come to know कि this scene was located there that scene was located there एक छोटा सा एपिसोड छोटी सी कहानी 2 मिनट का 3 मिनट का 5 मिनट का तो वो चीजें छोटे छोटे सीन में बांटा जाता है उसको this thing you find so scene is what scene is the subdivision of act and act is what act is the major division of action into the play. Again, I want to know कि Shakespeare's play, especially tragedy, comedy, Roman play, it has been divided into how many acts? कितने act में बटा?
Five.
Five.
5 acts में बटा है. What is the definition of act?
Major division of action into the play.
Into the play. What is the definition of scene?
Division of
The
act.
act is the division.
Act is divided into scene.
Subdivision.
Yeah, act is
Subdivision.
yeah subdivision of act subdivision है वो. Now just I want to know another significant point. Whenever you go with the comedy of William Shakespeare, you will come to know that Shakespeare has written romantic comedies or Elizabethan comedies. Tomorrow I will take a class on Shakespeare's comedies. And you will come to know that there are some beautiful comedies as you like it, Twelfth Night, The Merchant of Venice, all these things. Even there is a romance, The Tempest, that is also known as the last play of William Shakespeare, which published in 1611. These things you find. When I talk about Shakespeare's Roman plays, you have read a Roman play. Can you tell me the name of some Roman plays?
And Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet. So Julius Caesar.
Yeah. Julius Caesar, Romeo and Juliet, Antony and Cleopatra. बुशरा ने ज्वाइन किया है बुशरा आर यू देयर
No, बुशरा नहीं ज्वाइन करी सर ना अल्शिफा ना बुशरा
अलशिफा ने भी नहीं ज्वाइन किया ठीक है so I was telling you whenever you go with Shakespeare or Shakespeare's plays what the things you have to keep in your mind you have to just keep in your mind that in Shakespeare's play there are comedies there are Roman plays there are romance and the best example of romance is The Tempest. Even the comedies of Shakespeare is divided into bitter comedies, some problem plays also that is divided. And when you talk about major form, falls well that ends well, and even you come to know The Merchant of Venice, you come to know about what you come to know about The Tempest, that is a romance, and you also find As You Like It, Twelfth Night. Me about what you told me about some Roman plays of William Shakespeare. That is what? That is Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra, and Coriolanus. You find, and except it, you find That was Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, that is a love tragedy. Romeo and Juliet, that is a love tragedy. Antony and Cleopatra, that is also a love tragedy. The Merchant of Venice is a tragic comedy. If the question comes, which play of Shakespeare is an example of tragic comedy, then that is what? Then that is the Merchant of Venice. Six you find. Again, just I want to tell you, when you talk about his works after the works of William Shakespeare, is also written to long narrative poems. Can you explain that thing? To long narrative poems of William Shakespeare?
Sonnet.
Not sonnet. I'm asking to long narrative poems. उन्होंने दो बड़ी कविता भी लिखी. Sonnet तो 14 lines poem है. Do you remember Venus and Adonis? In that lecture, if you have watched that lecture, if you have gone with that lecture, you will come to know. And I said, whenever you watch that lecture, leave some comment. Just tell me ki what other things do you need, what other things do you find. But I didn't find anyone. Anyone didn't leave any comment. Yeah, anyone liked or disliked. Yeah, I didn't find your opinion. If you just go with that lecture and hear it or come to know, you must know. Ultimately, something has been created for you. Therefore, you have to respond. Mina, ki what do you find in that lecture? Was it good? Was it fruitful or not? If it was good, then write some sweet words. If it was not fruitful, then just say ki that I have to do this, I have to add something extra, or this thing you have to do, but you didn't respond me. So what I want to say कि when you go with this point, तो आपको उसमें देखेंगे कि there is a Venus and Adonis and there is another poem Rape of Lucrece. These are the two long narrative poems of William Shakespeare जो उन्होंने लिखा था. Now just I want to know कि Shakespeare has written his tragedies, his comedies in which words? शेक्सपियर ने किस वर्ड्स का यूज किया है?
The blank verse.
Blank
Yes,
verse.
that's good. Shakespeare has used blank verse. Whether you talk about his long narrative poem, whether you talk about his sonnets, whether you talk about his tragedies, comedies, Roman plays, romance, in all the plays William Shakespeare has used what? In all the plays William Shakespeare has used blank verse. Just I want to know whenever you define, yeah, whenever you talk about blank verse, how can you define? How do you come to know about blank verse? What are the basic characteristics of blank verse? ब्लैंक वर्ड्स क्या होता है या कैसे हाउ डू यू कम टू नो इफ एनीवन आस्क यू कि define blank words who used blank words for the first time and give you me the example of that great literary figure who used it in his work, how will you say, how would you like to explain?
सर अनराइम्ड होता है.
Yeah, that's good. ब्लैंक वर्ड्स मीन्स अनराइम्ड फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ड. जो भी ब्लैंक वर्ड्स होगा उसमें राइमिंग नहीं होगा. ये एक सबसे बड़ी खासियत होती है. एंड सेकेंड पॉइंट, blank words always in iambic pentameter. Which meter?
Iambic pentameter.
Pentameter.
Yeah, blank verse is always written in iambic pentameter, and iambic pentameter means the first syllable will be unstressed, unstressed syllable will be followed by stressed one. जो unstressed syllable है वो stressed syllable के माध्यम से follow किया जाएगा. यह जो है blank words की खासियत होती है. That is the characteristics of blank words. So whenever you and I talk about blank words means unrhymed form of words. Number 1 point. Number 2 point की iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter means 5 feet or 10 syllable. पहला जो आपका वो होगा क्या नाम है, you can say the first syllable will be unstressed and the following syllable will be stressed. पहला unstressed होगा, दूसरा stressed होगा. Unstressed का मतलब कि बगैर दबाव डाले हुए you have to pronounce. और जब आप उस पर बात करते हैं तो then what you have to do, you have to just the coming syllable will be what will be stressed one, उस पर stressed one होगा. So you find and सबसे पहले blank words का यूज किसने किया था? Who used blank words for the first time?
हेनरी हॉवर्ड एलॉफ सर है.
Yeah, that's good for yeah. Henry Howard Allaf Surrey. Good. Henry Howard Allaf Surrey ne Henry Howard Allaf Surrey, who was a sonneteer of Elizabethan age, he used blank verse for the first time. In which work? In which work? He
Question repeat.
translated Virgil. Uh,
Virgil's Aeneid in
yeah,
1540.
Virgil's Aeneid. Now this batch that was inactive, the batch that was sleeping and taking kharrata, now that is active this time. Mispa, Fauzia and Aisha. Now just I want to tell you, when you talk about this particular thing and what was that, that was it was used by whom? It was used by Henry Howard Allaf Surrey, a well-known poet of Elizabethan age, a well-known sonneteer. He translated Virgil's Aeneid in 1554, book second and book four. And in that translation, in that work, he used blank words. उसमें उन्होंने blank words का use किया हुआ है. ऐसा नहीं कि सब में जो है. So that is the beauty of that when he used it, and later on it was followed by William Shakespeare. Even you find Christopher Marlowe and other university, even they also use the same thing. But before Henry Howard and Love Surrey, not a single person used blank verse. The credit goes to that man. And he translated Virgil's Aeneid. And Virgil's Aeneid is an example of what? Virgil's Aeneid is an example of
Literary epic.
literary epic or secondary epic. Yeah, that's good. Literary epic or secondary epic. Now, after just taking his sonnet, how many sonnets have been composed by William Shakespeare?
154.
154.
154. Can you tell me what is the rhyme pattern of Shakespeare sonnet?
A A B B C C D D E F G G.
Yeah. Shakespeare has composed 154 sonnet, and the rhyme pattern of Shakespeare sonnet is A A B A B, not A A B B. A B A B C D C D E F G F. Yeah. A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. That is the rhyme pattern. And how many lines there are? There are the 14 lines, and you will come to know in these 14 lines. Do you find how many quatrains do you find in this sonnet? कितना quatrain है? Three quatrains. And quatrain means
Four line stanza.
quatrain means four lines stanza. That's good. Quatrain means four lines stanza. And couplet means
Two line
Line
stanza.
stanza.
Two lines.
two lines. Again, I want to know the rhyme pattern of Shakespearean sonnet.
A B C D C D E F E F G G.
Okay, I just want to know Sharik has joined or not. Sharik, are you there? Yeah, okay, you are there. Okay. ठीक. So what I want to say, whenever you go with this pattern A B C D octave 8 lines, sestet 6 lines, all these things, you find that ki agar if the question is asked when Shakespeare sonnet published for the first time, शेक्सपियर का sonnet पहली बार कब पब्लिश हुआ है?
1609.
Yeah, that's good. 1609.
1609.
1609. 1609. 1609 ईस्वी में. And what was the name of the publisher?
Thomas.
Thomas Thorpe. Yeah, good. Thomas Thorpe was the name of the publisher. Thorpe published Shakespeare sonnet in 1609. 1609 ईस्वी में उन्होंने इसको पब्लिश किया हुआ था. Next point I want to know, when you go with the sonnet of William Shakespeare, what the subject, what the content do you find? What the theme has been taken to compose that sonnet?
So
Love, marriage.
Love and beauty.
Yeah, love है, beauty है, and
Human
role of
nature.
time.
Human
Human nature, yeah, human nature and time also. Time. You can't leave time. You must mention time, especially time has been mentioned. With the passage of time, things are going to be changed, and the rapid change take place with the passage of time. And this is the time that brings havoc, this is the time that brings devastation, destruction, and all other side chaotic situation and calamity. These things you find. So role of time is very significant in the sonnet of William Shakespeare. Next point, just I want to know when you talk about Shakespeare's sonnet and when you go with it has been divided, you can say three quarters and a couplet. Shakespeare dedicated his sonnets to a three figures. Can you mention the name?
Sir, his friend the Dark Lady.
W. Dark Lady.
W.H. Dark Lady and Cupid. Cupid is god of angel. Yeah, Cupid is god. Cupid is you can say an angel, and he is the symbol of love. So you find whom WH, you find Cupid, and you find
God
Dark
of
Lady.
Angels.
Dark Lady.
Dark Lady. Dark Lady was his beloved, so-called beloved, and the WH was his bosom friend, and Cupid, god of love, yeah, angel of love. You can just use these words. After it, when you go, can you just mention the name of the sonnet which you have read in BA first year?
Let me not married to the true mind.
Yeah, that is a true love. Yeah, that is let me not to the marriage of true minds. So when you go, let me not to the marriage of true minds, you find that Shakespeare tells about the basic characteristics of love. He also just depicts the role of time, how time comes, how what the role is played by time in a man's life, and what the changes come with the passage of time. And even you find that he says that love is not love which enters when it alteration finds. So whenever you go with this Miss William Shakespeare, his works, his sonnets, then you find these characteristics. Now just I want to know about the name. What was the name of his mother?
Sir,
What was the
Mary
name
Mary.
of
Mary
his
Arden.
Arden. Mary
Mary
Arden.
Arden.
Mary Arden Shakespeare? What was the name of his father?
John
John
Shakespeare.
Sir,
Shakespeare.
John Chapter.
John Shakespeare. John Shakespeare. What was the name of his wife?
Annie
Annie
Anne
Hathaway.
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 Annie Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. And Shakespeare was born that particular. Can you mention the name of the district, the name of the village, and after that
Stratford
was the
Avon
name?
upon Avon. Stratford upon
Stratford upon Avon in
Warwickshire.
Warwickshire. Stratford upon Avon in Warwickshire. So when you go with Stratford upon Avon in Warwickshire, you must remember these points. Shakespeare was born in Stratford upon Avon in Warwickshire in 1564. And Shakespeare was buried. Where was he buried? Where was he buried?
Sir, London.
Yeah, he was buried in London, but the name of the place that is known as Poets' Corner. All the great poets are buried there. All the great poets are buried there. Just go with this point. I am just giving a question on your plate. Just take it and try to find out the answer. Where was he buried? He was buried on 23rd April in 1616. That place is known as Poets' Corner, but I will not mention it because you yourself has find. And yet, if tomorrow I come and I start my class, I will start that class with this question again. I will ask the same thing. Where was he buried? Now the next point I just want to know what was the name of his wife? Annie Hathaway.
Yes, sir.
Annie
yes sir.
Hathaway.
Yes, sir.
Annie Hathaway. Yeah. Now tell me about Shakespeare's contemporary writers, which you have read in BA first year also. Who was the Shakespeare's contemporary? Yeah.
Thomas Hardy.
No, no, no. Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon belongs to Elizabethan age. He was a well-known essayist, father of English essay.
सर बेन
He was
जॉनसन
a
भी तो
contemporary. Yeah, Ben Jonson, Francis Bacon. Even you
एडमंड
find
स्पेंसर
Christopher Marlowe, Edmund Spenser. Yeah, Edmund Spenser. Very nice. Edmund Spenser, poet. They all belong to Elizabethan age. यूनिवर्सिटी वेट्स का, इवन सर थॉमस यार्ड, हेनरी होवर्ड, अल्लाह सरी, वो सब थोड़ा सा उनसे पहले आए हुए थे, लेकिन जब भी आप जाएंगे देखेंगे यू फाइंड दिस थिंग, यू फाइंड दिस. Let me tell you one or two more important points. Shakespeare ultimately talks about human nature. Shakespeare talks about human psyche. The same thing you find in the play of William Shakespeare, especially Othello. ओथेलो में आप पाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं कि ओथेलो पे हमने टेस्ट करा लिया, अभी तो हम शेक्सपियरियन ट्रेजेडी पे बात कर रहे हैं. कल हमारा जो टेस्ट होगा दैट विल बी ओनली ऑन ओथेलो. उसका पूरा स्टोरी आपको पढ़ना है एंड एक्ट वाइज आपको स्टोरी सुनाना है कि व्हाट डू यू फाइंड इन दैट स्टोरी. सो टुडे वी कंडक्टेड अ टेस्ट स्पेशली शेक्सपियर ट्रेजेडी, शेक्सपियर का वर्क को लेकर के, उनके एज को लेके, उनके कंटेम्प्रेरी राइटर्स को लेकर. या
जहाँ पे बरीड
should
हुए थे वो उसको क्या कहते हैं? पोएट्स कॉर्नर
that
क्या
is
कहते
known
हैं?
as poets corner. Poets corner.
ठीक ठीक.
Now concluding, meet you tomorrow.